Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Dave.
And we are Nfgeeks.
For life.
That's right. And we're going to talk about our favorite thing in the world. Two of our two favorite things in the world. And what are they, David?
Pizza and hot dogs?
Not pizza and hot dogs. Although we've been eating pizza all week, haven't we? Doing these things.
Well, it's good pizza.
Yeah, that's right. No, but what are our real two favorite things?
The Myers-Briggs
and
love.
That's right,
yes.
Love. Because we haven't talked about that enough either, right? In these videos?
No, not enough.
Not enough. Certainly not for an NF. No NF.
No.
In fact, the NFs are sitting watching these videos saying, how come these guys don't talk about love?
I know.
You know, they haven't even got enough. Specifically, what we're going to talk about today is what kinds of types match up with the other types. And this is something I'm very, very sort of fascinated with for multiple reasons. But one of the things I find is that there seems to be a difference of opinion based on which sort of version of the Myers-Briggs you're using, which Myers-Briggs types should go with others to find some sort of romantic idealized match. And what I'd like to talk about is what we think our idealized matches are, certainly as an ENFP and an INFJ, and maybe, think about all the different possibilities. So the first thing I want to say about this, Dave, is I think that there's no one right way to match up with the Myers-Briggs, because I think personality is multidimensional. Meaning that different personalities can match up in different ways with different types, Yeah. So there's no one type. But I do think, though, saying that, and this is something, because I'm a P, and normally a P wouldn't say this, but I do think that some types are better than others for you, whatever your type is. I don't think, whatever your type is, the other 15 types are good, ideal matches for you equally. I don't think that. I think that there may be 3 or 4 that are good for you that are better than the others, but I don't think that all equally are good.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about what we think those are and how we feel about that. So, Dave, let's start with you as an INFJ.
All right.
So first of all, I want to know, what is your romantic experience in terms of what types have you dated or had relationships with thus far that that you're fairly sure about? And if you don't know, but what ones have you so far ended up with?
I've ended up with INFPs, ESFPs, and attempting other INFJs.
Wow, attempting. Isn't that so? And why an attempt, Dave?
Because, Mike...
Yeah, go ahead, say it, Dave. No, I'm going to say it. I'll tell you why. Why? Why, David? Why? Because they made a list.
We make lists.
That's right, and they made a list. You and those damn lists.
Jesus. If you don't know what we're referring to, look at our previous videos.
The list.
Yes, so we make the lists of everything that will go wrong in the relationship.
That's great. So you both made the list and then stopped talking to each other immediately. Like you didn't even bother to go on the date.
Well, we still talk, but
Oh, the list.
But yes, those are the specific types I've encountered.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, Dave. According to the Keirsey temperament sorter, your ideal match is an ENTP. But according to the socionics, they would put it as an ESTJ. Now, do you have any thoughts or feelings about that? About either of those types? Do you see how that could match up? Or have you encountered any of those types before?
I don't believe I've encountered either of those types.
Even as a person or as a friend or anything?
Nope. No, I don't believe so. Maybe, or maybe I have. I just don't. I can't recall them, or I don't think I ever knew what their type was anyway. But how I feel about that is, the SJ would have my back all the time.
That's right.
That would be fantastic. I can tell you that much.
That's
That'd
right.
be great. And as for was it the ENTP?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be great. That'd be like that would be like Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, who wouldn't want to date?
We should have mentioned that in the last video, because he is representative of the ENTP mythologically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doc Brown.
Doc Brown. I do like Doc Brown. Doc Brown is the man. And if there was a female Doc Brown, I would.
Yeah, you'd flux her capacitor.
I would throw out my list.
Oh, you throw out his list. No, you wouldn't.
No, I would keep a sticky note version of it, but it wouldn't be like a long.
Oh, that's funny. Now, the only NFs you've had any experience with are INFPs and INFJs. Is that correct?
Romantically, yes.
Wow. Do you think those were good matchups at all?
The INFP, no.
Okay.
The INFJ, yes, if it could ever get off the ground, but I don't know.
Wow.
not I haven't had much success in that, but yeah. So I think the INFJ, yes, because I don't know, it's just a complete understanding. No really disconnect when talking. Like I don't really have to explain anything to them. They get me and I get them right away. But of course, we have the same problems, so it's not like we can help each other.
No. Do you find that true with your INFJ friendships that you have with some people, male or female?
Yes, I do. I have a few INFJ friends, and well, we get yeah, that's true. We get along. We get each other very well. But when it comes to like giving advice, we can only really relate and talk about how. Well, I guess that's advice for anyone. How I would act in the situation, but it's nothing new. It's not a new perspective on that. It's pretty much the same perspective for them as for me. It's the same thing. So I feel that would be the difficult part for that. But I don't know. It doesn't mean I don't love them. But what about you? With that, what types have you encountered romantically?
Well, actually, Dave, and that is because I'm a little seasoned, meaning old. As we're saying old. Is I've actually have dated and had romantic relationships, even intimate relationships, with all of the 4 NFs. I've had some kind of interaction with, including my own type. I've actually had,
sly dog.
Yeah, I've covered all the NF bases. First of all, and so we'll start with. I guess we'll start with the E's. I've had romantic liaisons with an ENFP. And sort of the same thing that happens. I really liked the person, but I don't know. There was a part of it that was almost kind of boring because there wasn't a lot of talking going on because you don't need to explain yourself.
Yeah.
A little bit. But there was a lot of let's just say adventures in intimacy with another ENFP. At the same time, I've dated an ENFJ. I don't know if I ever told you that.
No.
Did I ever tell you that? Yeah, it's true. That's true. And that was actually a really good person. And what was really smart, this is kind of an ENFJ thing to do. The first time I dated her, she actually brought this list of questions to ask me that were very deep and philosophical, in a notepad, and she had them and was like making little notes.
Really?
Yeah, it was, and you would think it would be creepy or weird, but it was actually kind of cool. She had really come prepared, had all these things that she wanted to ask me. The problem was though she's the ENFJ, so she wouldn't stop talking. So it didn't work. There was no listening going on. Yeah, I probably wasn't listening either. I'm an E too, so I'm sort of admit it was mutual.
So would that be the EE?
Yes, the EE. See, the problem is when it comes to romance, I think you always. I'm of the impression that an E wants an I, and I should be with an E. That's one thing you always want to have happen, in or out of the Myers-Briggs, because 2 I's nobody talks. When you have 2 I's together, when you have 2 E's, nobody listens. And that's kind of what happened with the ENFJ.
I mean, look at our dynamic.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Some of my favorites have been the INFJ, and if it wasn't for the list. Yeah. Actually, one time, now this is going to turn to therapy. So here we go. I was with
yes. Tell me about your mother.
Yeah, no kidding. I was one of the times I encountered the list. I was dating an INFJ who was a composer. She was a beautiful musician and could play classical music and was on the piano. Was very beautiful composer, and we were coming back from somewhere a party and that I had worked really hard to be good. It was her friends, and I really dressed up because ENFPs dress up. And we were coming back, and she was sort of reciting the list. She was going on. She was like saying the list out loud to me on the way home. It was a long ride.
Oh, jeez.
And I blew it because what that triggered is, I never told the story either, an ENFP rant. Okay? And not a nice ENFP rant. And the other ENFPs know what I'm talking about. A rant. A full-blown finger pointing with two fingers, like from Blue Velvet. Yeah, I was really upset. I know. I blew it. I blew my stack, and I blew it. And I blew it with the composer. I've never forget. And that was over a year ago, and I've never forgiven myself, Dave.
It's okay,
I'm still upset about it. I blew it.